My name's David Alexander, and this is the toast to the Lassies. So on to Robert Burns. He was a big fan of women, but however, not much of a big fan of responsibility, commitment, or the withdrawal method, and is thought to have fathered somewhere between 12 and 16 children with at least 4 women before he died at the age of 37. For a fan of statistics, and the implications of them are pretty mind-boggling. Assuming there were no twins, that's 1 child every year since the age of 20. I've never really read much on Robert Burns, but I started looking through his work to prepare some of those selective quotations and was struck by how alive a lot of those poems and songs felt. You can really get a sense of the person behind the writing, and then of the 16 children by 4 women in 20 years is not so outlandish. I am no Burns scholar, but reading some of this stuff and picturing the man behind it, it seemed like there were 3 types of writing that Burns did. First up, there are those poems where Burns is delighting in his conquests and showing what a lad he is. This one is thought to be inspired by Elizabeth Patten, a servant who worked at the Burns household. My girl, she is airy, she is buxom and gay. Her breath is as sweet as the blossoms in May. A touch of her lips, it ravishes quite. She's always good-natured, good-humored, and free. She dances, she glances, she smiles with glee. And oh, for the joys of a long winter's night. Then Burns' poems can be fantastically crude, with poems such as 9 inches will please a lady. It's impossible here to repeat the verses in this company, but I can imagine Robert Burns and his mates getting pretty severely boozed before launching into drunken renditions of these and several others. But this toast should build towards a positive note, and I'd like to look at the final category of Burns' works, those poems which go furthest to explain the multitude of women he was involved with. It's easy to imagine the average standard of wooing from farmers in 18th century Ayrshire, Scotland, and then the success that someone like Robert Burns had with some of these verses. To see her is to love her, and to love but her forever. So to conclude, would you please be upstanding? And I'd like to finish with some final words from Burns as we toast to the Lassies. Old nature swears, the lovely dears, her noblest work she classes. Her pretense hand she tried on man, and then she made the lassies, to the Lassies.